Welcome back everyone to episode 5 of our Let's Play series on Aurora 4X and the Star Trek role-playing framework. So we are really at the home stretch for getting our freighter and our colony ship out. Just want to point out one thing in the comments. It was asked whether or not you need the cargo loaders for your colony ships, and you do. Cryogenic transport modules, they are considered cargo that you load. The way we could easily determine this is actually the cargo load system doesn't... Well, let me go over to the Sonia and show you that the load time is 12 hours, but if I was to add another bay, we see that it jumps up by double because the cargo handling system is giving you a number which is related to the load time for your given cargo bay. So if I go over to the Osiris, it won't give us a number at all if I don't have anything relevant. So if I just take all 10 away, you can see the load time is 0 because it doesn't have anything to load. But these cryogenic transports are something you need to load, so it is giving me a load time. Actually, that's interesting. That is going to take longer than Sonia. I guess that makes sense. I guess what the load capacity for this is probably, for one of these, is only a fifth of what a normal cargo is. So we have 2 times the amount of a cargo hold standard in terms of load capacity. So anyway, if that doesn't make sense, then don't worry about it, but just know that you do need cargo handling systems for your cryogenic transport. Okay, onward. We're very close. We're just going to be able to advance by 1 day increments now, since the exploring ship is far enough out that we don't need to do the 8-hour increments. Basically, the 8 hours is mostly for the inner solar system, and now that we're out at Uranus, hopefully we have something on Neptune. That's the last gas giant we have, which could possibly have some Sorium. But otherwise, I would say that we're a little bit short on Sorium, despite the fact that Mercury or Venus, I forget what. No, it was Mercury, had really an enormous supply. So I kind of usually prefer to have my Sorium, like from a role-playing standpoint, I prefer if the Sorium is stuck on the gas giants, and I would prefer if Mercury had something like, well, Duranium would be ideal, but any of the other resources, maybe Tritanium, I guess we're a little bit low on. That's okay. We'll play with this. This is the world we were dealt with, and this is the world we'll deal with then. So we'll go to 1 day increments, and the next thing we have up, what do we have next? So we're going to get some research done in January 41, but as far as targeting our creation of... Yeah, April, so we're going to stop around March to actually start putting the engines together so that all the prefab stuff is done, because we need to do the cargo handling things as well. And we need 4 of those. I think I neglected that we need 4 of those, so that'll probably take 10 days total, just one 5-day tick for each of those components. Alright, so off we go. And again, let's remind ourselves that this is supposed to be the role-playing framework, so I can imagine the world news updating, giving updates about the Tortuga Power and her crew's recent progress. Okay, Dr. Jordan is finished. Yeah, we knew that this would happen quickly, now that we got her number of labs back up. She's currently working on fuel consumption, but what should we do? Probably get the ion. I guess ion technology is probably next. Yeah, there it is. And ion technology is really, I feel like I usually try to get one beyond ion before I start building my main ships to send out. But even ion technology is sufficient. You can build some decent ships with ion technology. So keep pushing. And our surveyor is way out there now. Almost to the extents, the reaches of the system. Okay, the shipbuilding rate, that'll help us a little bit. Well, it won't help us with the expansion time, I should say. But that will help us eventually when we start building our ships. So next we want to get... let's see... I don't think that it applies retroactively. I think you'd have to... This will only apply to the next set of managing or expanding your shipyard. I'm not sure. I could be wrong, but I think I remember testing it a long time ago, and I didn't see any change in the results. Or maybe it was so minor that I just didn't notice it, and it actually did happen. But so let's switch over to... I think construction rate is good to do. just we do want to make sure that our stockpile is always positive here. So we're it's going to be down. All right, well, we have plenty of time. This accessibility will start dropping, but with 20 years left, I think we're okay, because we've only been mining it for about 20 years, so I don't think the accessibility will start going down for maybe another 10 years, and by that time, we'll hopefully have another tick or two. At the same time, we are getting... Okay, let's just play it safe. It's never been anything wrong with getting mining first. It might slow you down a little bit, but it's probably the safer thing to do. So let's do that. Let's do mining, and then we can do construction after that. Okay, and no, on we go. Oh, an inactive research lab. Let's just make sure that it wasn't due to another fatality or something like that. No. That's good to know. Have we had any officer health issues lately? None that impact us? Oh, good. So this is big. Huya has 140,000 uranium and tritanium. And Vendorite at 347. I don't think we need to worry much about that, but those first two were very nice. Okay, so research lab, just allocate to... Oh, yeah, his shipbuilding rate isn't done. He finished whatever was previous to that. Oh, expanding the civilian economy, which didn't help much. We're still running at a deficit, but that's okay. We can... I try to not expand the civilian economy for as long as possible because... Excuse me. 1 second. Make some changes here. Yeah, it does slow down your other things. As long as we can survive. We just want to keep our head above water with the economy. The one thing you don't want is for this to go to below 0. Then you start having some kind of political stability, wealth trade modifier, I guess, that'll negatively impact your production. And that's not good. Okay, we finished missile agility. I haven't given any extra labs to our missile and kinetics yet, but they usually are very important. I mean, missiles usually are very important, but we're going to be going with a probably at least somewhat of a laser energy weapon enterprise when we release it before the 2200, year 2200. So, okay, MK. What do we start getting up? Because I do want Gauss weapons as well. Those affect your point defense. So we might as well just start queuing that. You gotta get to it eventually, right? All right, and everything else is good. Might as well look at something. Okay, somebody who doesn't matter, another person who doesn't matter. Okay, Fitzgerald matters. Oh, but administrator rating of 9, I don't think he's ever going to use that. What was this? Health, civilian, died, okay. Hughes up to, wow, administrative rating of 2. That's pretty bad that they were only at 1. Okay, oh god. I didn't notice. Okay, but that's fine. It's still worth it to wait and have, we're just going to shut down. Okay, well, let's just unqueue the research labs for a moment and let me get these engines up and running. So we'll put these guys at 65. Let's modify that and put them up, and let's just see if they'd finish in time. So they say they'll be finished by the 18th. Unfortunately, because of the time, we don't know if they'll finish in time, so I'm gonna have to make sure that they rewind to the 17th. So let's go ahead and drop this down to just like 20, and let's see what we can get when we can get to the 17th. Okay, I'll just do 75. It's fine if we aren't perfectly accurate because I'm also going to add 3 more engines. Oh, wait a second. We're using 3 engines or 4? 3. Okay, good. So we'll need 6 total then. Let's just make sure we don't have any in our stockpile. We don't. All right, so this is perfect. Then we want 3. Now we're going to switch this up to 6 total, though. So we'll get another 3 on there. And there'll be still like 2.9-ish left over after this. But we'll deal with that when we start building our freighter. The other thing we're going to want for our freighter is... maybe we will just drop this out. And we're going to start building, as fast as possible, our cargo handling systems, which I think we can get done. We need 4 of these, right? Oh, this is wonderful. I thought we were doomed. We're going to push our start date back our construction back 5 days to get this done. I think, let me just check. There was 4 cargo handling. Yes. Okay. So then we should be all set. We have 4 cargo handling. We have 3 engines and some change, but that'll happen. Actually, we can do the same thing here. I will drop this by, let's say, down to 15. Whoops. And then I'm just going to add the other 8. I'm going to modify it to 8. It will at least complete the 4 we need, and then it can start working on the other ones. Then we have 10 unused construction, which we will just give back to our construction factories. Okay, very good. So just a 5-day pause in the industry, which is going to give us, remember, we can just do the comparison directly that, well, I haven't retooled yet. And I do want to continue to expand this thing, but we can do it in either order, because remember, the first retool is free, but let's just retool first. Now we, and very importantly, have to choose the higher build point one. The one that can actually build the Sonia is the Osiris. So we will set it as the Osiris. And again, just to double check, because I'm nervous about making mistakes, it would be a very costly mistake. Yeah, so the Osiris can build the Sonia. Note that the Sonia cannot build the Osiris. Okay, so give me the Osiris. Set activity. Done. Again, yeah, it's easy to think about these things off camera, but I'm under the pressure of trying to do things quickly. All right, now let's continue our expansion of that by another 5,000 tons. This doesn't matter. This won't impact anything. We just want to continue to do that. Now, we also want to build, not quite yet, but this would take until November 42. We are actually going to want to build the Sonia first, which will only take till, oh wow, this, yeah, well, we knew that because the build point rate is like a third for the Sonia what it is for the Osiris. So this will take until October 41, but let's see what kind of difference it makes that we are just doing 5 days of our industry to get a few other things done. I think it'll make an enormous difference. I mean, we know exactly what kind of difference it'll make if we look here on the Sonia and go to component summary. This should... It should now be locked, but I guess it's not because... Yeah, only the Osiris is locked because we only retooled for the Sonia. But once I start building a Sonia, this will be locked. Anyway, the cost breakdown, I wish we could sort by menus. This is almost Excel spreadsheet, but anyway, we can see that we're building 10%, so the cargo handling isn't much, but it's still 40, which is still 10% more or less. And this is the big one, obviously the 150. And we can't build anything else by ourselves, so the rest of it has to be built by the shipyard. Okay. Just double check that's true. It is. All right. Then we're all set. So let's take our 5 days. Something has gone wrong. Estimated completion date is, oh, okay. Of course it's gone wrong because I've added the additional amounts. This is not 3, it's 6. This is not 4, it's 8. But we should still get the 3 and the 4 that we need, respectively. Even with the construction factory. Let's go 5 days and find out if that's true. But first, let me make sure that I have my research squared away, and I don't. Brandon Allen needs a different task. He is going to do, yeah, of course, construction after he's done mining. Okay, so let's do this 5-day tick, which unfortunately is going to cause my Tortuga power not to be very efficient, but that's fine, just for once. And there we can see it that, oh, did we mess up on the cargo handling? We only got 3. So I did not double check that enough. Probably I should have done that. I think it was because I was doing this based on, again, this is always what gets me. I was probably doing it based on the 21st being the cutoff. And we're at the weird 18th, 23rd, you know, it's from the 3rd and every 5th day from there. And that'll always get me. All right, well, is it worth it? The cargo handling systems, I don't think so. We might as well just reduce this down to 3, and we'll just pay a little bit of a penalty for our inefficiency. And we definitely will be dropping all of these by a lot. Let's drop this down to, let's say, well, let's just actually remove it from the queue. We don't need it for a little bit of time now. The big thing we're going to need to do probably, let's see, like maybe 2 months before we finish the construction of our freighter though, is start building the cryogenic modules. Those are pretty expensive in terms of points. So we need to get our industry to start building them way ahead of time. And the people of Earth should oblige us. Okay, so let's get these guys out of the queue as well. Construction factory, let's just bump this up to 50%. This is more a time of construction than research, so we'll orient things appropriately. There we go. Okay, so no unused construction, and yeah, I'm pretty happy with this. This is going to finish, these construction factories will finish pretty soon, which is good. Okay, this is down to the 4 remaining we need. This is the 3. All right, well, let's see what the result of our work has been. If we try to get a Sonia class, I don't know. I didn't see if XViewers had a response if he wanted the first one or not. But we'll just call this. Yeah, we'll just call it the Sonia 001. Why not? I can always rename it later. It says 16th of October, but if we add this task, it's actually going to be done the 2nd of August. That is a pretty good, yeah, we shaved about half the build time off, which is good. For a 5-day tick, it's pretty good. All right, so we know that we will now have a new ship come August 41, which actually means we very soon are going to have to start working on building the cryogenic stuff and all that. Let me just go maybe until the end of May, and then dedicate June and July to building those things. So that'll give our industry a little bit of time to do its thing before we come back and pester it about shipbuilding stuff again. And nothing going on. Just watching. Oh, there we go. Capacity added, and okay, 30,000. Yeah, keep adding. You can see how this should be at least 40,000 to be comfortable with like basic designs. I prefer to leave mine at least at 50, and probably it doesn't even hurt just to put them all the way to 100. I usually get my naval ones to 20,000, and you know, you don't build them that quickly. You don't have 20,000 ton ships right away. So, and research. Okay, just an inactive research. And that's another thing we have to do with once we get our freighters up running too, is we're going to start being very interested in getting some automated mines and some mass drivers. So yeah, the industry will have to change. I guess the middle of May's. We don't have to wait any longer. We can do it now. Let's add this one to Dr. Jordan. We're close to Dr. Allen's max, though, at 30. Yeah, okay, let's add it there. I always prefer to get my industry really cranked up before I do anything else. So we did those 2 things, added that, got that, and now we're going to switch things around. Okay, so let's just get these first things done first. This probably will only take 1 tick. Let's remove this down to like 20 and drop Research Lab out. Move cargo handling in. And we only have 65 remaining, so let's just drop this down to 65 and see if that's sufficient. How are we doing here? Okay, so we need to make sure it's done by the 18th of May. This one has to get a little bit higher, so let's reverse this, go 15, and you go 20. Okay, now we're gonna waste a little bit here because if I wanted to be like very min-max about it, I would do like, okay, 64, 63. All right, wow, actually we're at the limit at 64, so I might as well leave that. But if you want to find the time, and actually technically because my tick over time is at the 8th hour, I don't know, I've never experimented with this, but I suspect that you can actually move a little bit into the 18th because it'll be built before the 8th hour on the 18th. But this is why I hate dealing with those weird tick intervals. Just hate it. It drives me nuts. Let's go down to 18, see if we can get it done by then. Yeah. 17. Okay, so 18 is the number. Those will both be done a little beforehand. We'll be wasting a very, very small amount of our construction, but that should be fine. And this one has 18 more can do. Perfect. So let's do a 5-day tick, get that done with, and then we will bump our research labs in, or probably we'll actually start doing automated mines as well. So 5-day tick. All right, we actually finished some research into energy weapons, and the rest of it's the construction stuff, which we knew would finish. Okay. Let's do this first. Energy weapons, what do we want? I have a squeaky chair today. This is not my normal chair, fun fact. Let's see. I prefer to get range over focal size because there's an argument to be made that larger lasers... there's a whole bunch of min-max math that goes min-max math, which goes on to the size of your lasers. Per size, technically, even smaller lasers do more damage. But you know, I don't like that. I very much dislike that the higher tech actually doesn't gain you an advantage. But I don't really remember all the math into it. I just remember I'm left with that impression after studying the matter a fair bit. Let's do turret tracking speed, which is never a bad thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think we have one for everyone. Okay, yeah. Then construction industry stuff. So let's get these back up to normal percentages first and foremost. Let's do something like 30 is fine. Maybe research lab is 40, which gives us 30%. Oh, well, of course, I need to make sure that we get, for anything else, 10 of these modules complete. And I kind of like actually regret what I did already. I probably should have done an extra cargo handling system. And actually that one is fine, but no, okay, those are both not as generic. But for cryogenic transports, this won't be the last colony ship I ever build. So I'm just going to put 11 in, just so that whatever extra will just stay in the queue. All right, again, this is Tortuga. I am very min-max efficient, so I just don't like to waste any of the industry, which is such a minor point that I'm making here. But in fact, I'm just to spite myself, because OCD, sometimes you just have to fight it. I'm not going to do that, but let's put this into the queue at 30%. Okay, how long is this going to take until the 2nd of August? That sounds about right. Wow. In fact, that is perfect. So right at the time we finish this ship, like just out of pure coincidence, is exactly when our cryogenic transports will be finished. Let's just bump it up by 1 day to make sure that with the ticks, I don't know when exactly in the tick this will happen. A second, actually, if it's on the 3rd, so no, this will be fine. Okay, that's perfect. So we'll just do exactly like this. Should be completely okay. All right, so on we go. And we haven't really been paying attention to the stuff Tortuga Power has been finding. Not too much. We'd have to pause this to actually see what he discovered above, or we'd have to go to the geological survey screen. All right, so there's our extra 5,000 on CivDoc 1. We'll still go up by another 10,000. Why not? 50,000 I feel comfortable at. And then what else happened? Nope, nothing else. Let's take a moment just to look and see if anything interesting has happened as far as what have you been researching? What have you been surveying, I should say? Not a whole lot. We're not getting a whole lot here, huh? Okay, well, fair enough. Sometimes you just don't... these things out in the... It's usually the comets which are going to give you stuff. I'm not actually surprised that the outer asteroids don't give us much. So... Ooh, Dr. Jordan finished her next line of research. Ion drive technology. That is a really exciting one to have. And I would definitely like to get down to 0.6 at a minimum. I'd really prefer 0.5 for the ship wave which comes after this. And I think we can accomplish that. We basically do ion drive, we do 0.6, we do stellarator fusion reactor, and then we go back to 0.5. So that should be the order we do things. And then Okay, we're still about 20 years away from our deadline for the Phoenix, our jump ship. So we should have plenty of time to get the survey ship out to actually find a place for it to jump. Man, we should have plenty of time left for that. All right, let's continue then. And I'm out of water. Oh no. We can probably go to 5-day jumps now. Oh, he didn't make it, and he's going to refuel at Earth. Okay, well, we can definitely go to 5-day jumps then. But let's first get to the tick over. There it is. All right. Oh, actually, what a perfect time. The Sonia has now been finished. And our construction of our cryogenic transport's finished on Earth as well. Perfect. Just perfect. I love when a good plan comes together. So let's bump this back up to 40. Let's do 60 for our research labs. I still want plenty of those. How's our Mercasium doing? Yeah, we're in very good shape, and we're positive. Okay, so with the increase to our mining rate, which I think we got, we're currently... No, we haven't even got that yet, but it'll happen in another 5 months or so. We're doing good. We're doing good on duranium. But that might also be just because in the last tick we didn't completely utilize it. We'll see what it goes to with another tick after this. But importantly, this is a huge day. The first freighter in Earth's history, well, first space freighter in Earth's history has been constructed. And we have one design, one plan in mind, and that is to set up the infrastructure, literally, that we're going to need on the moon for a future colony there. Sure, the moon doesn't have any resources, but it's like the perfect experiment. We have this new infrastructure which can support like a personal colony. And what better place to set that up on than the moon? The reason for this is, let's just imagine something goes wrong. It shouldn't be very difficult. It only takes like 30 seconds for our ships as it is right now to react and to get help. Now, let's not actually mention the fact that we don't have any other ships available to do so. That's just in theory. If something is reported, we can build a ship in like 3 or 4 months to start collecting some of these people. Oh, we won't actually have any people. By the time we are able to put people on the moon, we will have that colony ship available to extract them if something terrible happens. So, with that little role-playing blurb aside, let us do it this way so that we don't have to worry about superior formation. I'm also going to set the fuel condition that with less than 30% refuel at colony. And your orders are going to be, by the way, it was pointed out by Cerberdian, who has joined us for the series, so welcome to him. We don't actually have any fuel refineries. We're doing okay on fuel right now. What is this fuel? The tanks that we have right now, I think they don't even store 1 million. What do you store? 200,000. Yeah, so we won't be sucking our fuel reserves dry too quickly. But it's a good point that we will eventually need fuel refineries. Otherwise, we will just have no fuel left. Okay, but back to getting the Sonia to do something. We're going to have the Sonia load infrastructure. I don't know what infrastructure loads at. I think it's 10 units per cargo space. Maybe 5. Maybe some other number. 2,500. I think so. I know that labs, you get 1/20th of a research facility in one cargo space. I don't know how much maybe it's you get multiple infrastructure. Let's just find out. I'm gonna do this. We'll tick for like 5 seconds or something, and we'll see, or even 5 seconds, and we'll see how much it's going to be loaded in this area, which we can just determine here. All right, and then we're gonna move over to Luna, which I need to create a colony on this anyway, but it'll automatically create a colony once I drop off my infrastructure there. So let's just do it officially because, okay, now, and I'm also going to want to redo this. I'm pretty sure, I have some feeling that you can get 10 infrastructure. So I'm just going to do this 10 times, and once we're done with 10 times, I'm going to stop and take stock of the situation. I don't remember exactly how much infrastructure fits into one standard cargo bay, But we'll find out in a second. Okay, let's just do the 5-second tick, and we'll know in a moment. It's going to take us a long time to load. Remember, it's like 12 hours for our freighter to load up. So the 5 seconds is just going to reveal some information for us. So load time required, still 12 hours left. How much are you loading? Yeah, it is 10 infrastructure. So when the fact that I did 10 trips, I just repeated 9 times, because you got the first one there already. You don't want to repeat 10 times. That would give you 11 total. You do 9 more times, we have 10 total. That'll drop off all 100 of our infrastructure on the moon. So this will take, well, it's about half a day to load. So it's going to take basically a day per trip. And that means we'll be done in 10 days, which is exciting. I think we will tick forward and actually watch the first trip, though, because that's exciting. Let's go 8 hours, 3 hours, 1 hour, 20, 5, 2. All right, here we go. 5-second ticks. It's going to be happening soon. Any moment now. Let's just do this auto. And there it goes. Practically in real time, we're watching the Sonia with her infrastructure moving. You can imagine that there's a team of engineers loaded on the Sonia as well. We'll do it slightly faster. To help unload the things on the moon. And now, okay, now it's going to take another 12 hours to do the unloading. So, get to a minute. This won't take more than 12. Okay, now we can do 2 minutes. 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 1 hour. And once this ship is done, it'll stop us again. So we watched the first, at least leg of the first round trip, and we'll just go by 1 day ticks from here. Well, we can do 8 hours just to kind of watch it jump back and forth. There it is, jumping back and forth. Oh, that is because I was not actually tracking the Earth's movement. So it moved much further than our screen before we knew what was going on. Now, because we have a colony on the moon, sometimes that does create some kind of response to your shipping lane, but I guess maybe they need to see civilians on there, because this is now a colony. This is now our first colony outside of the Earth, which is amazing. I mean, that's, I guess, what a colony is our first colony, is the first place outside of Earth. So that's our first colony, the moon. Right now, there is enough infrastructure there at 60 of the 100 we're going to put there to support 200. Wait, infrastructure required per million population is 200. So we're able to support only 0.3 right now. Still, 300,000 people. That's a good size, you know, it's not, I don't know if it's a full city, but it's something. And by the time we're done there, we'll have a total of 500,000 that we'll be able to support, which is very cool. After that, we might kind of rely on the private economy once we get that set up, to start building some of the infrastructure for us. We could also just build slightly more. Okay, we're looking at the moon. This is a common mistake. We need to go to Earth to do our building, so we don't have any construction factories on the moon. Do we want to drop something down just for a bit in order to get infrastructure? Because it's really cheap to build. If we do this, we can get 20% for infrastructure, do another 100 or so. And this will be at 20%. Yeah, so we'll get another 100 infrastructure very quickly. So what I'll do is I'll do this. I'll go back to my Sonia, and I'll tell her to actually just repeat this another time. And her fuel efficiency is good enough that she hasn't even lost 1% of fuel. So we'll just do this again. That is, okay, so she should have 4 ticks left. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we do one more, and it'll be 16. That will be slightly too many. So that's fine. I'll just leave it at this, and we'll reevaluate the situation after she's done doing that. All right. Should we go? Let's see. Where are we in the middle? We're in the middle of our cycle, so we need to go 8 hours. I think 8 hours, 1 day. 1 day should be the tick. There it is. All right. I'm trying to follow Earth. This is supposedly the path that the Sonia has traveled, but it's not really true. It's because the moon traveled that path. Normally I thought when you click on this object, we're not following it. I don't remember how I actually follow it. I can follow this is another way we can do it. It's just center map, and now we'll definitely follow it. So I go 5 day tick, and we moved with it. Okay, so we actually failed to load infrastructure, so there wasn't enough to get. What are we at right now? We only got 25. That's fine. I'll just let the Sonia cancel her orders for now. Yeah, and we'll wait for the rest of it to appear. We'll see how much it is, and then we'll give new plans. Because we're still waiting for... God, did I... I am an idiot. I did not start building our ship. See. The silly things you do. Well, let's start this construction immediately then. Osiris. So March 24th of March 2043. The actual time it'll be is... Oh, good. Wow, this is going to happen actually still very, very, very quickly. And that's because of all the cryogenic modules. So we'll still have it out in November. So by the end of 2042, we'll have our first colony, which is great. And I think we can probably tick forward a little bit faster. In fact, how's our infrastructure doing? Okay, let's just go 5 days. Where in the world, by the way, is Tortuga Power? Is he still making his return trip? He's way out there. Coming home. Okay, construction of infrastructure is completed. Let's start doing automated mines. Maybe get... I like to drop like 50 or 50 to 100 per comet. I like to mine things pretty quickly. So let's just get 100 of these. And we'll do that at 20%. Well, it's useless to do too many of these before you get mass drivers, though, because you need mass drivers to actually ferry any of the resources back. Unless you have freighters do it, but that's really, really inefficient, I think everyone would say. You should definitely have mass drivers just fling your supplies back to Earth. Of course, we need a mass driver at Earth to catch it. Alright, so keep going 5 days. David Collins is up to 50%, that's good. Tortuga Power's almost home. Yep, so now we'll start actually getting these ticks. Even if I do auto turn, he's going to complete his mission before the next 5-day cycle anyway. But if we do 5-day ticks, he'll actually pause us now at every tick interval because of the fuel remaining. If they're less than 20%, they'll give that a warning. And I kind of really wish that there was a way to be changed. Okay, so it actually went away because he actually refueled. Did he leave again? Yep, he's already out exploring new stuff. Just a quick mission, drop in, refuel. It's kind of useful for us to... Wait. Oh, actually, Neusman is fantastic. But what's your crew months up to? 12, so he's still doing okay. I guess I did give him slightly more than he needed, but that was by design so that he can do slightly more than just one refueling trip worth of surveying without losing morale. But I am going to cancel his orders. After he does Neusman, basically I just want him to do the ones that are close by, and I think he's going to do that. I don't know what the closest one is from here that hasn't been surveyed. I guess I can... Let's... Minerals only. Alright, so we do have plenty here with minerals. What's Coma Sola? I really wanted to see this last time. I forgot to. What is... Oh, so Coma Sola is a fantastic target for a comet that we need to mine. It doesn't leave the inner solar system. The furthest it goes is, Jupiter. Okay, I guess that's slightly further than the inner solar system, which I consider limited by the inner asteroid belt. But that's still, Jupiter's not that much further. It's no Saturn or Uranus, right? So, yeah, we can start working on getting a colony on Coma Sola and dropping mines, getting... I think this has a lot of stuff on it. Coma Sola... Okay, it has tritanium, a very small amount, about 9,000. Iridium, mercasium, boronite, and gallsite. But it has all these things at really high numbers. It's surely worth mining. Well, let's just create a colony there. I don't think the civilians will do it because there's no sorium or duranium, but I'll create a colony there. So we'll know it. And, okay, research lab. Guess we'll get this up. Appropriate for doing the new colonies. What else? I'm kind of lost in this moment. I've lost track of what I wanted to do. The Sonia is doing her thing. Oh yeah, we want to get the Tortuga Power to return and actually just wind down for a bit. So before you go all the way back out and then have to come back in like 2 months, let's just gear you all the way back down. So just survey Nourishman and then return home. And just moving to Earth should be enough, but we'll have him refuel as well, even though, what, has he lost 2% by then? Maybe. Okay, then his mission will be complete, which is good. Let's zoom into Earth again. And I guess I can do display bodies. This should actually track Earth, I think. So let's do 5-day tick. No, it doesn't. Okay, I don't remember how to track Earth's movement around, but somebody will let me know in the comments. I've forgotten. It doesn't matter. We can just center ourselves in the solar system, which won't move, and go from there. Okay, another 5-day tick. And so now we're at first one. Oops, I didn't see what that message was. Okay, Tortuga Power has completed his orders, so now he's going to start unwinding shore leave for everyone. Those 55 crew have served us really well. They've given us almost all the information. Actually, somebody told me on Galactic Map, I think I can see how many we haven't surveyed yet. I don't remember which one of these it'll say. Okay, there it is. We're at 478 out of 620. So we still have a fair number of bodies left to survey, honestly. And 30 more, this is for the jump points. So this is a different type of survey, which we don't have the ability to do yet. Okay. So 1 day. And I think that's the tick. I thought that was the time. I'm just waiting for something. Oh, wait. The planets moved at the 6th. Did the cycle change? Okay, it's now back to I'm so confused. It's now back to the 1st. This is horrifying. Does it happen at the hour? Let's just go like 1 hour. Does it happen exactly at the hour? Should happen now. No. It happens somewhere in the middle of the first day. When? Okay, it happens between the 1st hour and the 9th hour. That's extremely confusing, but that's fine. We'll use the 9th hour as our tick interval from now on. Okay, capacity was added to Civ Dock number 2. We'll change that. And the other 2 things we don't need to worry about. I can't tell you, besides the forgetting to put research labs on something or, forgetting to build the ship as I did, those little minor mistakes that you can't get warnings about, that's certainly Aurora is very unfriendly to new people or even veterans, that it doesn't give any warnings. You just have to check everything yourself. So, and we didn't check, and like the research adding the extra labs, it doesn't give you a warning. Are you sure you don't want to allocate some labs? It just lets you do it. So, okay. So we'll do our 5-day ticks from here. I think the Tortuga Power will be done winding down. Let's see, 11. It should be in a month and a half. I think I mentioned it, but it's 7-1 on that. Okay, completed shore leave. Yep, middle of November, just when we expected it. So let's whoops, not the Sonia. Oh, we can actually get the Sonia to deliver the rest of the infrastructure as well. We have 76 available. So that is going to be 4 trips. It's only going to take 8 trips. It's only going to take 8 trips to get that done. Then let's also, instead of building more infrastructure or automated mines, we also need to get fuel refineries going. I don't think we need many. Even 10 should be enough for our demand, and we'll have to ramp it up more and more as we keep going. But let me queue this up next and put this at... It's going to take quite a while for our automated mines. Let me... How do I want to do this? Faster I get my construction done, faster I can do other stuff. So let's put the fuel refineries to 15, or to 50. Then they'll take over when the construction factories finish, and that's going to happen. Well, it's still going to be a year, but we won't really have used too much fuel by then. You can see that even, what does the Tortuga Mark II use? Very, very little, I would imagine. Yeah, it only has 150,000 liters, and it comes back every year or so. So we don't have to worry about that too much. Okay, very good. Then we'll keep pushing. Sorry about that. Bumped my microphone. Yeah, so we want to give the orders. Sorry, I got sidetracked. Give them back the geo orders. And I'm actually going to be interested in to see what's the first target. So let's go a day. Where are you going? Survey Narvi. Where's Narvi? I also want to display, not the ones with minerals. Narvi could be Saturn, Neptune, I don't know, I have no idea. Oh, look at this! Oh, wow, glorious day. The Osiris is built, so our first colony ship is ready. Now, the exciting time for us is now, some colonists have volunteered, whatever we want to say. I'm sure there's actually probably a lot of people who would volunteer. If you knew there was going to be a total of 100,000 people per trip, and that the living capacity on the moon was over 500,000, that would be kind of cool to be one of the new people. I don't know if I would do it, but it's kind of fun to think, would you or would you not be one of those first people to go live on the moon? Probably younger people. I think older people, you know, we all hate change. The older generation doesn't like change. I guess I don't lump myself in with them quite yet, but okay, shipyard task group. Let's get this attached. Your orders are going to be conditionally to refuel, as always. And for now, though, you're going to load colonists at Earth and make our first colony full of other people on the moon. And that'll be a huge thing. I guess that's when the civilian economy will really kick in, because they haven't done anything yet, but I think we'll see that they start doing stuff as soon as that happens. What else do we have? That's done, and CivDoc 1 actually completed doing... Okay, they're at 50,000. I'll go to 60,000 with the CivDoc number 1, and I'll probably leave CivDoc 2 at 50,000. I don't think we're going to need anything more than that. It's always good to have one that's bigger, just in case, basically. So we'll leave our CivDoc 1, maybe I'll even set it up to 100,000 and leave CivDoc 2 at 50 or 60. Because there will be definitely freighters and colony ships we can build at less than 50,000, which we can leave CivDoc 2. The reason why I keep things a little bit lower, I mean, first of all, it doesn't need up as many resources, but I'm not 100% sure, but doesn't your ability to retool, isn't it based on how big the dockyard already is? Like, this mod rate goes up the larger it is, and I think that means to retool it, it takes longer. I could be mistaken, and I'm sure somebody more knowledgeable than myself will confirm or correct me in the comments. Okay, but we're at almost 50 minutes. Let's get our colony started so that I can name this episode The Colony on Mars. No, not there yet. The Colony on the Moon. So let's set the capacity. That's all we want to do. Wow, really exciting. So Osiris is gonna... Let's have this. Now it's we carry 100,000 people. So we'll have to do this in tandem with the Sonia grabbing more infrastructure. What we'll do is we'll just have them load infrastructure and unload it on the moon. I'm pretty sure that I can just have this repeat 7 times and this would finish. But if you wanted, you can also just cycle moves, which just says do this until there's nothing left to load from Earth, and then it'll stop then. But okay, because I'm pretty confident of the math. You can just look over here. Yeah, it has 8 trips worth of stuff. So when that's done, we can actually finish their orders by saying go back and refuel at Earth, which is like leaves them ready for tasking for whatever we have next. And that's a nice thing to do. Now, the important thing is the Osiris. We're going to do this. We know that right now the capacity on the moon is 0.62, and it should finish at a solid 1 million, which means we're going to want 10 runs from the Osiris to bring all the colonists over. And then after that, we're going to kind of leave the moon. In fact, I'll do 9 runs just to allow a little bit margin of error, because we want the civilians to start building their own infrastructure, but they won't do it immediately. So we'll just do 9. Okay, this. So do this 8 more times, and then come back to Earth and refuel, which is basically saying you've finished your mission. All right. Well, this is exciting. We're going to have a whole bunch of loading going on at Earth. We can wait 8 hours, then we can wait another... Oh, the Osiris takes longer because remember, it acts as if it has 2 standard cargo bays, so it takes twice the amount of time to load. So in a 8-hour tick, Sonia will be unloading over here, and the Osiris is still going to be loading. We can do 1 hour, 8 hours, 1 hour, and now it's going to unload colonists on Luna. Let us watch the fateful trip, our first colony outside of Earth being established. There it goes. And just that's not the Osiris. The Sonia is just leaving at the same time. They like ships passing, crossing in the night, as they say. Let's not turn off the auto turn. Okay, 2 minutes, 2 minutes, 20 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes. Okay, now we just need to wait an hour and 7 more minutes for our first colony. In fact, I guess technically, I think the troops, it's the way the game works, I think the people actually land there first, and the ship is actually just tied up for the remaining time it takes, but the people are there immediately. So you can see already we have a population of 100,000 on the moon. And the growth rate of 10%, basically the smaller colony is, the faster it grows, which is why we have a huge growth rate right now, 10%. And that's also why I want to leave a little bit of room for our population to grow into some of the additional industry. Because right now, when it's all said and done, this should be 200, right? I mean, this should be 1 million flat. So if we put 0.9 there, it'll give them a little room to grow before we need to put more infrastructure there. Okay, so let's see where are we in the middle? I guess let's go 8 hours, 8 hours. Let's see, is this where the tick happens? Does this happen? Okay, good. So that tick happens somewhere between 0.1 and 0.4. That's what we've established now. So strange. Just have this center on the map. Actually, no, we are not going to look at that anymore. And let me turn off comet paths. We don't need those. Okay, so how's everything doing on the industrial side of things? We have a few automated mines, just 2. They actually will start contributing to our mining rate on Earth, which is, it's good that we're doing that because we're currently at -5. Looks like all this industry, we didn't have enough mining to support the industry. So it's good that we're doing the mining production first. By the time, hopefully, that we get to construction production, which is in the queue, construction rate, hopefully by then we will have enough automated mines to offset the negative that's resulting from our stockpile. Now, a huge drain of our economy right now is research. So hopefully getting this colony there on the moon, you can see that they are producing right now an annual production of 0.5 infrastructure per year. But I think Earth will also start to produce infrastructure, and they will export it to the moon. So hopefully we'll see that. But in order for that to happen, we have to wait for our United Federation of Planets pool freight line to get its butt in gear and start delivering some of that stuff for us. Hopefully that happens soon. Okay, so let's see, maybe one more 5-day tick. Okay, Sonia has completed orders. That's fine. We can see how much infrastructure is on the moon. Yeah, so exactly enough for 1 million. That's what we expected. And probably another couple-day ticks. And I guess the Osiris should be finishing soon. Oh, no, Osiris is still making round trips. But we'll just do another 5-day tick. Can I focus on this now? The centering mechanics, I guess I'm still not completely aware of. Does that focus me still on center? Yeah, we're still centered on the Osiris. That's fine. I'm not. That's not a big deal. Just leave it there. Okay, nothing interesting. Gotta bring this. We gotta wrap this episode up very soon, though. But I'm really excited. We have our first colony. So that's really exciting. We'll see if have they gotten any extra. No, they're still at 200. So we'll keep an eye on this and see when that starts going up or not. And my idea is actually to start transferring labs over to the moon. That'll be what I would like to do. And we're going to have our main science headquartered on the moon, which will free up. I mean, I'm not sure how we're doing. I haven't even checked this. Now, we still have plenty of available workers on Earth, but the biggest thing for is the scientists. Okay, construction workers right now, it's because they're at 100,000, but I plan to get a lot of research facilities, and we're just going to dump those all on the moon. But that's going to wrap this episode up. So the United Earth has expanded to be now the United Federation of Planets because we actually have more than one system body involved. And in the next episode, what I expect to do is start establishing some mining colonies. Let's just get one on Sola. Let's get over to Mars. Let's actually build our full colony on Mars as well. If we can do that in the next episode, maybe if I get my butt in gear and start doing things a little faster. But we'll just see what happens when I get to it. So until then, thanks for watching and take care.